And today we're going to talk about chapters 18, which is I'm seeing if I got the title right, the Turtle Beetle Battle, I was right, all the way to More Than a Copy. So let's start, and let's dive right into this amazing book, masterpiece by Eliza Broach, illustrated by Kelly Murphy. Okay, chapter 18. The Turtle Beetle Battle. What do you think is going to happen here? Well, Elaine just fell off the edge, so I think that Marvin is going to battle the turtle or save Elaine, or, something like that. Let's go. Now, if you had been Marvin, do you think that you'd have been brave enough to save Elaine, or would you have just been like, well, there goes another annoying cousin. Come on, let's go. I'm hungry. I want some lunch. What do you think? I would have definitely saved Elaine, even if that meant risking my life. Yeah, I would have been pretty scared. If you had been Elaine, what would you have done? Would you have paddled for your life, or would you have just stayed there? Well, of course, Elaine can't swim, so I would just stay there because I can swim, so I would swim as fast as I could, and probably maybe I could beat that turtle. But still, if I'd been Elaine and I couldn't swim, then staying still is probably the best option. And do you think that the turtle wants to eat Elaine, or do you think it just wants to investigate? I have a feeling it wants to also eat Elaine. I think it just wants to eat Elaine. He might think, look at that yummy black beetle. That's gonna be really crunchy. Really crunchy and munchy. That's gonna be awesome. Something like that, right? Maybe so. So now, what would you compare the turtle to? A monster, right? He sort of is a monster in a way, so I will compare him to a monster. Now, did you think that Marvin's tactic of saving Elaine was going to work, or did you think that something really bad was going to happen and that Elaine was just going to die and she was going to live in Beetle Heaven? I think that Marvin is going to save Elaine. Now, do you think that you would have had good swimming skills to save Elaine, or do you think that do you have so bad swimming skills that you would have just ended up in the same mess as Elaine? What do you think? And did you think that the turtle really and have you ever thought of a turtle as dangerous? And what's the theme that you can learn from here? Well, maybe different things that are dangerous to different people. Though I actually do think that turtles are dangerous. They carry a disease, so yeah, that's a big problem. So I think the turtles are sort of dangerous, but still, mostly, yeah, I don't really think of turtles as dangerous. Now, do you think that Elaine is getting all of that credit, like Marvin saved her, and now she was saying, well, I almost saved your life there. If you have a Marvin, how would you feel? Me, super annoyed. Now, do you think that Marvin and Elaine are all going to go and see the turtle next time? Do you think that there's ever going to be a next time? Would they lean along? Probably so. Uh-oh. And now, did you think that did you think that everything was going to be okay after this? At least in the house, or do you think that even in the house things were gonna go bad? I think that in the house it's gonna be good, but you know, in the museums, things might not go that good. Okay, chapter 19, James's problem. Both Marvin's parents were both saying that, you know, it was James's problem now, not Marvin, and Marvin shouldn't really care for that, and Marvin should just, you know, go back to his regular life. But even if James could figure it out, do you think that would stop Marvin from coming back and being friends with James? I think that it wouldn't stop Marvin. He would still be friends with James. But do you think that James really is going to solve it? Because, yeah, he is a bright boy, but still, this is something that he might not be able to solve. So what do you think is going to happen? I think that what is going to happen is that, you know, I think that Marvin is going to have to help James along this path. It's like, you know, like on some, if you've ever been on a hike, you know, at times there's like this really dangerous or something, and when it's really dangerous or something, you just need or maybe it's just like really, you know, hard to navigate, then you need a tour guide or a ranger who's around that place, and then, so like maybe the tour guide / ranger can be Marvin, right, because he has experience with all of this. Now, do you think that a mom, have you ever had your mom or your dad or somebody that you know, like somebody like your guardian, I guess, come along when you're at a play date? And if so, how do you feel? Do you feel like, oh, Mom, seriously, come on? It's like, do you feel like that? And are you like, oh, come on, Mom, you can, think. Go grocery shopping. We'll be all safe together, like, you know, like sort of like that. What do you think? I think that, well, I kind of think it's annoying, but mostly I don't really care that much about that. It's not like my mom crashes in anytime. Yeah, she doesn't do that a lot. Okay. Now, did you think that James, if you had been James, how would you felt about the whole situation? And do you think that you would have just stopped and would you have made an excuse if you had been James? And what do you think? I think that if I had been James, I would have just made an excuse. But then Marvin comes, so that's good, right? But still, before that, how would you have felt? And what would you compare your feelings to? A deep, dark void that sucks everybody in. That's what I would say. And now, do you think that Marvin's mother is going to allow Marvin to come along with James? Or do you think that she's still going to say no? But even if she says no, do you think that's going to stop Marvin? No. Yeah, there's a lot of no's today. Now, if you had been James and you saw Marvin, what would you have done? Me, I would have been like, Marvin, it's you! Where have you been? Come on, let's go. My dad's come to pick me up. That's exactly what I would have said. And actually, I was my reaction was pretty similar to James's reaction. He said, oh, where were you? Where were you, little guy? His shoulders shook. I haven't seen you in days. What am I going to do if you don't come? What am I going to do if you don't come? Marvin looked at his mother horrified. Mama, he's crying. Mama frowned. Well, I'm sure he's upset, but he'll pull him together. You'll see. Now, did you think that if you had been Marvin though, and seeing your friend in distress, what do you do? Like, and even if your mom says no, what do you do? I try to comfort them, and I do whatever my friend wants me to do. Unless it's like something really crazy, like diving into lava, or maybe jumping off Mount Everest blindfolded. Now, do you think that if you have a mama, do you think that you would have like stood firmly and said no? Or do you think that your no would have begun to crumble and shake, and do you think that it would have just fallen in the end? I think that would have crumbled a lot, and I would have said sorry, but maybe you can't go. At the end, I think that I would have said that you could go, even if that took me a lot of struggling, and you just don't want to, but yeah, sometimes you just have to do it. I think that would have been what I would have done if I had Marvin's mom. So, really, Marvin does something unthinkable, right? And what he does was that he was like, I don't care. It's like he shook all those words away from his ear, right? And after that, he rushed over to James and they were off. And now, do you think that James was now really safe? And if you had been James, do you think that you would have felt safe too? Definitely. I would have been like, wow, I'm saved. And I'd be really happy about that. Anyway, chapter 20, the art of the fake. Now, I thought about that picture, of Christina. And so what is one thing that you can get from here? And I actually, so it's like this. So here's one paragraph I thought that was really cool. Reflections in mirrors weren't accurate, Carl said, because when you stared at yourself in the mirror, you subconsciously composed your face in a way that wasn't your natural expression, right? But this time, Christina was just herself. Have you ever had that moment before, or not? And, well, I'm pretty sure you have, or at least in a photo. Yeah, I've got lots of photos when, I don't really expect it, but there are, and that really shows my true self. Not like the way I look at myself in the mirror. Or like, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure that I don't let any of my true self out there. Just kidding, you might see a lot of my true self. Now, did you think that the whole art mission was going along very good so far? Or did you think that suddenly something really, 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 really bad was going to happen and it was just going to ruin everything? Well, I think it's going to all work, but I do think that there's going to be some ups and downs, like maybe somebody tricking each other, a traitor, or maybe the thief actually getting away with the wrong one, which is actually the real one. I don't mean the 4G, I mean the real one. And, something like that. I don't know. Whatever it is, it actually might happen. And if that happens, well, it's going to be bad. That's for sure. Did you think that Marvin was going to really create something exactly like that, and like the picture that he was supposed to draw, or do you think that he's gonna fail? Because everybody makes their mistakes, and do you think that he's maybe gonna trip or something, and that he's gonna ruin it? What do you think? I think that he's not. I think that he's gonna do it perfectly, and everything is just gonna be really amazing. And then they actually have 500-year-old paper, right? They actually have that. And now there's all these like old pieces of paper, right? What did you think about that? And at times, they just sort of make it look like it's old, but still, what did you think about the fact about all these old pieces of paper? And did you think that it was really cool? And if you had been James or Marvin, how would you have felt? I would have felt proud that I was actually doing something this monumentally important, that I was even using really old paper and all that, right? It's really cool too. I would have felt awesome. And also I would have felt, cool, and yeah. I would have felt really proud too. Yeah, well, alright, I already said that. And now, so if you just see a picture of somebody, do you just think, oh, that's a picture of somebody? Do you don't think that? Or do you think, deeply about it. Because, for example, like there's one thing. Here's one thing that I wanted to really point out that Carl says. Carl rubbed his beard, but sometimes people don't recognize a masterpiece for years and years, till long after the artist's death. And now, what do you think makes a masterpiece a masterpiece? This is one of the most monumental questions that many art historians and art lovers and just lots of people in general think about. What do you think makes a masterpiece a masterpiece? What do you think? I think that what makes a masterpiece is that if there's meaning behind it, if there's a secret meaning. It doesn't have to be secret either, it just has to be a meaning. This theme or meaning or symbolism that all makes things masterpiece. And if it's drawn really amazingly, that just adds to that. So, all those things actually make a masterpiece, but at times it's not just as simple as that. So think about that really hard, because at times anything can be a masterpiece, right? It also depends on the point of view. So think about that really hard, and also think about what Carl says on page 150. Okay, I'll just read it aloud, because I think that this is just a really amazing, really monumental thing that this book, Masterpiece, really captures. So let me read it. He hesitated. It can be hard to say what makes one work stand out from the rest. What makes the Mona Lisa so special? On one level, it's just a picture of a woman smiling. James shrugged. It's just a picture of a woman smiling. But on another level, it's so much more, his father said. It's full of secrets. Is she proud? Sorry? Flirting? In love? Look at it long enough and you might come to your own answer. But it's a painting that can be seen in 100 different ways. He smiled a little. By that standard, fortitude could be a masterpiece, I guess. A tiny masterpiece. So in the end, that's Carl's understanding of a masterpiece. Do you think it's true? I really do agree with him. I think that Carl's really smart, and I agree with him. So, do you think that what makes a masterpiece also depends on its size? Don't think so, but if that masterpiece is like huge, at times that can add to the feeling that it's a masterpiece. I always think that anything in a way can play into the role, another reason that maybe it can be a masterpiece. Like, for example, this book is a masterpiece. I really do think so. And like almost all the books are masterpieces though, in a way. I really like all books. Now, when you look at a painting closely, do you begin to notice other things? Definitely, you begin to notice all that detail, everything in that, and I think that's what makes it important. Like if you just blow by all the paintings, you aren't going to notice anything, and you aren't going to learn anything. But if you actually begin to look at them, that is when you begin to learn something. What do you think about that? Okay. Now, do you think that James or Marvin is going to perfect this? Or do you think that something bad is going to happen? And do you think that the adults are ever going to find out about the secret? I don't think so. Now, more than a copy. What do you think that means? Like, it's more than a copy. Well, forgery, I don't like it because it's just lies. But in a way, it can be seen as more than a copy. What do you think that makes a forgery different from just a regular copy? What's the difference in your opinion? And this time, and if you want, you can just look at the dictionary. It's totally okay, people. And this actually can be an opinion question too, in a way. Now, when you do something really fun or really amazing, do you just lose all sense of time? Definitely. When I was hiking an amazing trail, the Mist Trail, I just lost sense of time. I was just in awe at Vernal Falls and at all that mist and cool amazingness, and also Nevada Falls. Okay, that's now making me Yosemite sick, so let's not talk about that. Because I really do want to go to Yosemite again. And when it was done, even though we don't really actually see it, we can only see the description. Do you think that this is a good enough copy? It's better than good. It's amazing. And I really think that this is going to work and it's going to be awesome. But do you think it's going to work out like that? Or do you think there's something totally wrong is suddenly going to happen and everything is going to get ruined? Now, we have actually finished today's chapters, okay? Let's see again. So we went all the way from chapter 18, Turtle Beetle Battle. Wow, that sounds exciting, right? All the way to chapter 21, which is More Than a Copy. So I hope that you enjoyed today's chapter. This is a masterpiece by Eliza Broach, illustrated by Kelly Murphy. Kelly Murphy also is a really amazing, I've heard about her at least in a lot of books. And Eliza Broach, she has made the Masterpiece series. Remember, you can check those out. They're amazing. So check those out, okay? And now, before I ask you my last final questions, well, actually no. What about I ask you my final questions, and after that, I'll tell you about a really fun project that you can do. And so yeah, I'll say that first. Okay. So, what was your favorite part in these chapters, and what was your favorite part in the whole book so far? In these chapters, well, I really liked it when Marvin was painting. I just liked how he was feeling and all that description and amazement. But I also liked when Carl was talking about what makes a masterpiece. I thought that both were very deep and understanding, and they had a lot of meaning. Now, in the whole book, my favorite part was when Marvin first began to draw. I thought that was so amazing and cool. So that was my favorite part in the whole book so far. Now, what was your favorite character and your least favorite character? Favorite character. My favorite character was Marvin or James. But I really like Marvin better than James. And my least favorite character, Mrs. Pompadie, Mr. Pompadie. Those, especially Mrs. Pompadie, she only cares when suddenly her son says something monumental. After that, it's like he's like a speck of dirt that she doesn't like that's on her shirt or on her shoe, and she likes her shoes polished. She's like, look at that speck of dirt. Well, maybe not that severely, but point is, she doesn't really care for James that much as she cares for William. Now for the favorite question of the session. How did you like the book so far? Because I like it because you review, you can think, and then after that you say you're like, well, the last part isn't like needed, but still I really like it if people say yes, because that means that, you know, another love or another book has, you know, come around. Well, come around. That doesn't really sound like grammar. Sorry. The point is, has come, right? Another love for another book has come. That's always amazing and awesome and good and great and monumental. You could say that even. Okay. Now, let's go on to our predictions. I almost said productions. I know that sounds strange, but I almost said that, and then I was like, suddenly I was like, wait, Jason, you're about to say it wrong. So I said predictions correctly. Okay. Of course, I always advise you to make up of any prediction questions, but I'll still ask them. Do you think that after this, Mrs. Pompadie is going to have more of a better, understanding for James and love, maybe? Or do you think it's going to be only the same? Do you think that James is going to maybe go in with Carl because Carl is better than Mrs. Pompadie? Or do you think he's just going to stay with Mrs. Pompadie? Do you think that Marvin is going to get known, and Marvin and James' secret is going to get known or not? Do you think that Marvin is going to get scolded when he comes back by his mother? Do you think that that everything is going to work out, or do you think that some things are going to go bad? And if so, what do you think those things might be? Do you think that that the adults, how do you think that they're going to react to it? Do you think that they're going to think it's good? And finally, do you think that the thief himself he or she is going to get fooled or not? We're going to have to see about that. And oh yeah, do you know we've already met the thief? I'm not saying that we have. I'm just asking. You know, like whenever somebody asks something like that, well, because they asked that question, there's probably something like that. Don't think about it like that because who knows? Maybe we didn't. I'm reading this book along with you. I'm not kidding. So I don't know, okay? I don't know. So those are my prediction questions. If you think of any prediction questions, then you can put them in the comments below. I always love it when I just point to my legs and I'm actually pointing to the comments. It's awesome. I just like it so much. That's one thing I like about YouTube. So you can put it in the comments below and also ask yourself and other people this question because at times the question that you think is the most original and the most hardest to think about. That's one thing I've learned because I make a lot of questions. Now, for the project. Now, of course, you can choose any artist to start. But really, what I'm saying is just find an artist, okay? It doesn't have to be famous. Maybe you can find, any artist. Any artist. And then try to imitate him. Now, I don't mean like copy him completely. Now, you might think, well, what? Do I copy one of his paintings? No, you don't. That's a surprise, isn't it? Instead, now, think of anything, okay? And so, just, look at his paintings and how he draws or how he or she draws, okay? And imitate not the pictures, but their style of drawing or painting, okay? So imitate their style of drawing and painting. Or maybe, and if you wanna, target pottery because that is an art, go for it. But, if there's any forges near you, I don't think that you can, if you actually make pottery, wow. I wonder, did you put that in the oven or something? I don't think that the oven would really work, but if you really do, wow, that is impressive to make pottery. You somehow need a kiln or something, right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But anyway, any artist, and you can just imitate their style, not their paintings. That's like forgery, or I mean, even if it isn't forgery, it just isn't original. But if you imitate their style, then you can make things amazing that open into a new world for you. So that's one thing that you can do. That's amazing, and I really like that project. So you can try that out. And I hope that you had a great time with me. I certainly had. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day or night. Keep on reading, and I'll see you next time for Masterpiece or any other books.